Happy to see something back. Will Middlebrooks, the World Series champion. Hey, you've been on Twitter, not just today, but the past few weeks going off, just like Kermit on the typewriter. Your reaction to this finally getting done here?
I'm fired up, but I'm like, I feel so emotional right now because I've just been like ups and downs and ups and downs and in between, like everything you can think of, especially over the past week, the last 2 days. I mean, even the last hour when we're hearing, oh, they might be voting against it. This might not happen. So just a glass case of emotion right now. But I'm ecstatic. Baseball's back. We're not going to miss any games, which is great for the fans. It's going to be about a week delay, which isn't going to hurt anyone. That'll help it to warm up a little bit. So I think best case scenario for both sides right now, the players weren't going to get it all back from the previous CBAs. They weren't going to get it all back. They weren't going to hit the 8-run home run like Sampson said a couple weeks ago when we talked about this. But the owners did give them a grand slam, and there's a lot of positives here for the players.
Let's break this down because there's a lot to unpack here, because tonight you can have trades going down. Free agency is open, and also spring training games start March 17th. Guys do report this weekend. Give us a player perspective of how much time they need to kind of ramp up, because now everything's just kind of rolling like this.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of guys. I'd say it's about 50-50. Some guys are already in the cities of where their camps are, mainly because they had housing, they had rent to pay, and if they're going to pay it, they might as well be there and enjoy the beach if they're living somewhere cold. That way they can get outside wherever they're working out, and then boom, they can be at the complex tomorrow. Other guys, they have to travel. They have to get there ASAP. And with free agency, it's going to be an absolute frenzy over the next 3-4 days, probably about a week time. There'll be some guys getting late to camp, the bigger names, if they don't sign immediately. But this is going to be absurd the next week. You guys are going to be talking to me a lot.
Well, you've been in those rooms too when it comes to those negotiations. Just put in perspective, of course, being on the outside looking in, how is that kind of for you? You know, us as the fans as well, waiting to get something back. Just kind of put us in your seat, seeing this from the outside looking in this time around.
Well, I mean, I've been in contact with two guys who were on the executive subcommittee, and they wanted to get this done months ago, and it just couldn't get going. And then they would feel like they're getting traction, and there would be extra asks from the owners and from the league, and that would add to it at the last moment and look bad on the players. So it's been a constant PR battle, which is really tough in this day and age with Twitter and social media and everything. But they just want to play. I mean, a lot of people in the public saying we know no one cares about the fans. That's not true. Ask guys who played during COVID how different it was with no fans in the stands to when you have a packed house of 70,000 people. You play better. You tap into a higher potential of the player you can be with the fans fueling you and giving you that adrenaline. So we're just happy, and I say we because I was a part of this once upon a time. We are happy to have baseball back and have the fans back involved as well.
We are looking at it again, opening day, April 7th. We know guys have been ramping up, but realistically, conditioning, are you expecting to see guys at 100% come opening day here?
Yeah, the guys I've talked to are, especially pitchers, have been training differently. Over this past month, they have started getting pitch count up. It's not innings, it's pitch count, because we know pitchers don't go as deep into games in this era right now. So guys are ramping up. They're throwing to live hitters. Hitters are facing live pitching. There's been some sim games around here in Florida at places where guys have been getting together. At Cressy Sports Performance up the road here, I know that a lot of the Marlins guys who are here for spring training in Jupiter would get together and have players hold practices so they could start to learn each other, which is important. But I think 3-week spring training is going to be enough if you have been getting your work in. Hitters need 30 to 40 at bats. I think that 2 to 3 at bats for 10 to 15 games is enough. But I think the 5-6 days of what they call camp days, where you're doing pop-up priority, you're doing rundowns, you're turning double plays, because the infield is going to look a little different now with no shift and all that. So you're really going to have to learn your teammates. Say if I'm a third baseman, I need to know the range of my shortstop to know what I need to get to and what I don't, and vice versa. So there's a lot of things that go into those camp days of just getting to know your teammates.
I know it's probably going to be hard, Will, but can you sum up in one word this whole process of getting to this point? One word, how you would break down what we were just seeing here today?
Stressful. Stressful. But man, as crazy as it has been, makes it just that much better to see that a deal's done and baseball's back.
All right, the stress has now gone away because eventually we're getting back to the diamond here. My guy, Will Middlebrooks, breaking it down, giving us the passion here. Appreciate it, your time here, my buddy, with that breaking news. Baseball finally coming back next month. Don't forget, you can catch David Sampson as well, bringing the heat when it comes to that front office perspective. Nothing personal. David telling us, hey, look, I told you in the pot last week it was going to pan out just like this. All right, download and give him a follow. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say in the coming days with MLB back.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.